Welcome to Advertising Champions, your go-to destination for insights into the dynamic world of advertising. I'm your host, Tony Stanol, and today we're with Garrett Garcia, president of PPK, one of the most successful independent agencies in the Southeast. Welcome, Garrett.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
Sure. Now you're almost a lifer at PPK, heading up to the gold watch at the 20-year mark. But you did have some agency experience before that locally. But it's unusual for an agency in Tampa to be so successful.
Yeah, I think part of that obviously is due to our great people. We can talk more about that later. But to be honest with you, we really got a boost, believe it or not, through COVID. COVID really, the time period shone a light on the region. We had an influx of people from big markets. So, I started seeing tenfold the number of resumes from, big ad markets like LA, Chicago, New York. And so we really reaped the benefits of that migration. People wanted to move here, lower cost of living, higher quality of life, agencies that were doing good work. So I think a rising tide lifts all ships, as they say. So PPK really benefited from that and grew from probably 50 or 60 pre-COVID to about 110 where we sit today.
Nice. And how many people are remote these days?
We still try to bring everyone here locally. We're kind of a hybrid work model from the office in Tampa. But I'd say 90% of our folks are here in town. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I find that a lot of the larger markets like New York and Chicago for advertising, agencies are trying to draw people back into the office. And some of the smaller places, we placed someone in Des Moines not long ago. She's in Detroit. That, wasn't a problem. But I'm thinking that Tampa is a good destination. People do want to go there.
Yeah, I think people view it, or at least did view it, as a place that you went for vacation. And so it has that emotional tug of a place that you want to be, you want to live full time. So I think now that it has grown to be a little bit bigger of a market, thanks to that influx of population, it is kind of the best of both worlds nowadays.
Right. And you guys have a broad range of clients. Why don't you tell us a little about that roster?
Sure. Yeah. We've always kind of positioned ourselves, not as a niche agency, but I think by virtue of just the clients that we've attracted over time, largely retail. Right now, the Florida Lottery is one of our larger clients. Do a lot of work within the Bridgestone enterprise on their retail side of the business. So Tires Plus, some work with the Firestone Complete Auto Care brand, and kind of have our hands in through that enterprise organization and a lot of different nooks and crannies. So those are two of our large clients. Flowers Foods, two of their portfolio brands, which I'm sure most people are familiar with. Wonder Bread, kind of the original sliced bread, and Tasty Cake, their sweet treat portfolio brand, which started kind of as a Philly brand. So those are kind of our anchor clients, and then we do a ton of project work. So I think, like I said, by virtue of just the retail work we've done over the years, tons of restaurant experience. So we attract a lot of restaurant clients, but pretty versatile as a team.
Garrett, in the last few remaining seconds, do tell us about this special project that you all are working on.
Sure. So really excited about a children's book, our first ever children's book, produced entirely in-house, written by one of our incredible writers, Nick McMurdy, illustrated by one of our incredible art directors, Alan Schneller, produced in-house. And we're going to be printing on demand, and all proceeds starting in September will go to benefit our longtime pro bono client, National Pediatric Cancer Foundation, because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So we're sort of celebrating that with this big creative endeavor.
That's outstanding. And now that you've got a taste of publishing, do you think there are more books in the future?
We had an incredible time through this process. It was about a year in the making. We're always looking for creative ways to stretch our wings outside of client work. So I wouldn't be surprised if we stayed in the space a little while longer and maybe produced another.
Got it. Well, thanks for being with us today, Garrett, and good luck to you and the agency.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tony. Really appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Advertising Champions. You could find out more about this podcast and others at dailynewsnetwork.com. We'll see you next time.
We've been around for 16 years, working with clients, with thousands of clients. We're working with agencies to be able to scale them and grow them and provide them services that would cost them way more than it would for them to do it themselves. Anything oriented around lead generation, video creation, web design, we're full service, so we can really serve most people.